Now let's turn towards Russia and their no-limits partnership with China, which is getting closer by the day. Business executives from Russia and China reportedly met last month. They held secret discussions. Do you know what was in the agenda? Crimea. These talks were not about trade or business deals, but something much deeper and strategic. The secret meeting was about an undersea tunnel, one that would connect Russia with Crimea. Quick primer. Crimea was historically part of Ukraine. That was until Moscow annexed it in 2014. For Putin, Crimea holds strategic value. It gives the Russian Navy access to warm waters, and Moscow will do everything to maintain sovereignty over the Crimean Peninsula. They've built ports and other infrastructure projects in Crimea. The latest plan is to build an undersea tunnel. But why are they doing this? It's quite simple. The Crimean Peninsula is connected to Russia by a bridge. The bridge is 19 kilometers long and crosses the Kerch Strait. It has two parallel components which support both road and rail traffic. It is the longest bridge constructed by Russia, and it's the lifeline for Crimea. But since the war began in Ukraine, Crimea's lifeline has been targeted multiple times. The most recent attack was in August. Every time the Crimea bridge is targeted, the peninsula is cut off from Russia. So Moscow has now learnt its lesson. Putin wants an alternative route into Crimea, and it seems that China wants to play a role in all of this. And here's where things get interesting. According to reports, the Ukrainian military intercepted emails. These were mails between Russian and Chinese business executives. One of the emails mentions a company called the CRCC, that's the Chinese Railway Construction Corporation. It's a state-owned enterprise. It is known for building some of the largest road and rail networks in China. And they want to expand their operations into Russia. The intercepted emails quote an official of this company, and listen to what they wrote. We are ready to ensure the construction of railway and road construction objects of any complexity in the Crimean region. So clearly China wants to work with Russia on large-scale infrastructure, but this will not be the first time this has happened. In 2021, the same company, CRCC, worked with Russia. They constructed 3 stations and 9 tunnels for Moscow's metro. So there is some history there. But this will be the first time that China will venture into Crimea, a region they have not endorsed as Russian territory. And this is a deviation from their previous stance. But coming back to the secret meeting for now, the CRCC represented China. But who were the Russian executives at this meeting? From the 9 people that were part of the closed-door talks, we know only 2 names. The first is Russian oligarch Vladimir Kalyuzny. He's listed as the consortium's leader. And the second is Georgy Muradov, the permanent representative of Crimea to Putin. The names of other members who attended the meeting were not disclosed. It's a new tactic that Russia has adopted to safeguard its oligarchs from Western sanctions. And China is towing that secrecy line. Look at the backdrop of these developments. The war between Russia and Ukraine is still ongoing. Ukraine's counteroffensive has faltered. But constructing a tunnel in Crimea during war is an ambitious move. First, it would be an easy target for Ukraine. Tunnels require large machines and manpower, and the work has to be carried out in the open, making the project vulnerable to attacks. Second, an undersea tunnel would cost billions of dollars. The construction of the Crimea bridge was over $3.5 billion. An undersea tunnel will cost Moscow a lot more. Maybe that's why they require Beijing to fund their ambitious plan. Because Putin wants to safeguard Crimea. The peninsula has symbolic significance for his presidency. A tunnel would give Russia more access to Crimea. But what will China gain out of all this? Beijing could provide loans for the project and get Russian oil and gas in return. China could also insist on partial ownership of the tunnel. The infamous debt trap, a tactic that China has used time and time again. The terms between Russia and China are still not clear, but one thing is certain. Putin wants to secure Crimea at all costs.